like Christmas music? I'm not a big music person to listen to music all day long, but I experience the power of music so often, and I know how quickly Christmas songs bring us Christmas sentiment and festivity. But did you know that most of the top holiday songs were written in the 1970s or earlier? We get warm fuzzies from all the holiday songs because each person connects with their memories through music. So what is your favorite Christmas songs? I love Christmas hymns, especially the first Noel is one of my favorites as it stimulates my imagination and brings me into the first Noel when Jesus was born in singing and listening. So I am very excited for today's message that Pastor Chris will bring us today entitled Fa La 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 La. As the third message of our Advent series, "'Tis the Season, Traditions Get Us Ready." He will teach us how Christmas music helps us get ready for Christmas this season. So let's get started our worship with the songs of praise to our God.
In the bleak midwinter, frosty wind
and welcome to our online service on this third week of Advent. I am very grateful for worshiping with you in this online space in this season as we celebrate a season of joy with each other. Please know that you are welcome here as you are, and if you are looking for a community or if you have prayers or concerns you want to share with us, please use our online connected card that you can find the link at haddonfieldemc.org/now. And our Now page is where you can find everything you need to engage with the ministries and what is happening now in the life of the church, and you can find the worship resources of the week. This weekend on December 11th at 7 p.m., New Jersey Master Chorale Christmas concert will be offered in our sanctuary, and we invite you to join us in person or online. New Jersey Master Chorale consists of about 70 singers, and they meet every week and prepare their concert this spring and Christmas. And they will perform this season Handel's Messiah and other Christmas music with the Philadelphia Orchestra and friends to glorify God. You can watch it online at haddonfieldemc.org. Can you believe Christmas is just around the corner 2 weeks from now? I cannot, but I'm also excited for our Christmas Eve services. And we invite you and your family to join us to celebrate Jesus' birth in one of our 4 Christmas Eve services, which will be the candlelight services at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Our 4 p.m. service is children and family-friendly service led by our children, and 6 p.m. service is the modern worship service, and the 8 and 10 p.m. service are traditional services with special music, and we celebrated with candlelight in all our services. But before Christmas, we want to offer the longest night service on December 21st at 7 p.m. in our sanctuary. We acknowledge Christmas is also the tough and challenging season for many people, and this service will be available online at haddonfieldemc.org as well. As Christmas is about God's love for us, we invite you to share Christmas joy and love and hope with people in and beyond our community. And please help us deliver Christmas hope to those who have been homebound, have their first Christmas without their loved ones, and who are having challenging seasons in their lives. You can order poinsettias for them, and you can volunteer to deliver flowers to them as a sign of God's care and God's love in their lives. The poinsettias you order will be decorated in our worship spaces for Christmas Eve services, and you are invited to pick them up after the service. This is also a hands-on mission opportunity for all ages, including children, youth, and adults. So please let us know if you are interested in by using the link at haddonfieldemc.org/now. And another mission opportunity this year is our Operation Bear Hug. We are collecting new teddy bears for those hospitalized on Christmas Eve. Please drop off new teddy bears sized 8 to 12 inches in the Welcome Center through December 18th, or you can use our Amazon wish list to send the stuffed bears, teddy bears directly to the church. Also help us sponsor 70 children whose parents are incarcerated this season through Angel Tree. We need 30 more sponsors for children's Christmas gift in the area. So you can participate in this important mission by dropping off a wrapped gift for children by December 18th, or you can donate to $25 so that we can buy the gift to deliver to children. Another way we express our gratitude for God's love and generosity is through our giving. We want to give back to God and others because the love we already received is too big to hold for ourselves. And I know your giving, small or big, is an expression of your love and care. We encourage and invite you to be a part of God's mission and ministry here at HMC through your generous giving. You can give online at haddonfieldemc.org/give, or you can text the word GIVE to the number on the screen. Before we invite Pastor Chris for his message, shall we go to God in prayer together? Loving and gracious God, we give you great thanks for many gifts in our lives, for your promise of Emmanuel to be with us always on our sunny days and rainy days. We come to you in confidence of this promise. We come to you in the confidence of your love and hope you already provided for us. Help us to experience your presence in our daily lives. Open our hearts and mind as we receive the word prepared for us today. Speak to us loud and clear. Give us the transformation of hearts and our lives. We pray in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Did you notice Christmas seems to come earlier and earlier with each passing year? With all the stress and conflict in the world, who doesn't need more cheer? But where do we get the traditions we use to prepare for Christmas? Whether it's the way we count down or how we decorate our houses, the music that gets played, and the food we share. Come get ready to celebrate and put on your ugliest sweater for 'Tis the Season, traditions that get us ready.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Chances are these words are embedded deep in your brain like they are in mine. Of course, I heard this song growing up, sung always at Christmas time. We carry with us Christmas songs and Advent carols all year round, but we don't usually like to sing them in July. We bring them out to get us ready for Christmas. You see, before we decorate our homes, put up the tree, cook food, plan parties, usually it is Christmas music that comes first that helps us to get in the mood. And we remember these songs, these melodies, these words, and they get us ready. The first Sunday of Advent, of course, it's the music that says, it's a new season. This year, I think November 1st, radio stations started to play Christmas just a day after Halloween. I remember years ago, it wasn't until Black Friday until stations played Christmas music. But every year, earlier and earlier, we are getting ready, and music is arguably one of the most important traditions that get us ready to understand and to celebrate the Christmas season. But what about the songs? Where do they come from? And why are they important? What are the stories behind the songs? Well, Deck the Halls is one of the most famous, of course, secular Christmas songs. It originally has nothing to do with Christmas. It is a Welsh carol that is about the New Year. And it is called Nos Galan in Welsh. First appears in a book, in a manuscript by Welsh harpist John Parry in the 18th century. Later, it was translated by Scottish musician and poet Thomas Oliphant, who played at times for Queen Victoria and her royal court. Oliphant's translation in English says this, sounds familiar. Deck the hall with boughs of holly. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Fill the mead cup, drain the barrel, trowel the ancient Yuletide carol. See the flowing bowl before us, strike the harp, and join in chorus. Follow me in merry measure, while I sing of beauty's treasure. Fast away the old year passes. Hail the new year, ye lads and lasses. Laughing, quaffling all together, heedless of the wind and weather. Of course, there are a whole lot of fa la 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 la, la la la, laws in there. But did you hear it's a drinking song. It's a merry song that says, fill the mead cup, drain the barrel, right? It is as it says, a Yuletide carol. Later, new words would be written by John Sayrog Hughes, and these words would become more common and adopted. It would spread, and folk singers would sing this song in pubs and public halls, and they would write a second verse, and it would be carried down to the song that we know today. Did you know that in the year 1778, Mozart actually used the tune to Deck the Halls as a springboard to write his 18th violin sonata? And in the year 1803, Joseph Haydn would arrange this carol. He used the original Welsh title, Nos Galan. Check it out on Spotify or iTunes. Joseph Haydn, Nos Galan. And it's a beautiful arrangement of the carol. Who knew? But songs like this one, they are written and then they're adapted and then they're changed and then they're added to and then they're appropriated and they carry ancient stories and then they take on a life of their own and they're new stories. Maybe one of your favorite traditions is the singing of Silent Night on Christmas Eve. I know growing up, it was one of my favorite traditions, and folks here in this church love on Christmas Eve, kind of the apex moment of the celebration in that service is singing Silent Night to the organ with a full sanctuary and a choir soaring above everything with candles lit. But the original Silent Night, sung for the first time in 1818, was an emergency plan. It was sung outside of Salzburg in Austria. It was originally a poem written by Catholic priest Joseph Mohr. He wrote it 2 years prior in 1816 while serving another church. And when he came to this little church in Obendorf, Austria, he found that right around Christmas time, there were great rains and the rivers rose and flooded the chapel, damaging the organ. So come time for Christmas Mass, they couldn't sing to the organ. So he ran to local schoolmaster and organist Franz Xavier Gruber and asked him to really quickly arrange a melody and music for this poem that could be played on the guitar. And so the first time that Stille Nacht, the German poem that would become our Silent Night, was sung to the guitar in a small little Catholic chapel. Now, that song would be performed again later and heard particularly by two folk singing families that would take it on the road, and it would become popular, be translated into different languages, and passed down, no longer sung on guitar, but in churches to an organ. You see, the power of music is that it tells a story, but it itself can adapt and can adjust. And what is sung on lute and lyre in Welsh can be sung to piano and guitar and organ and English and covered by pop artists. Music is powerful because it is one of the ways that we pass down ancient stories and ancient truths from generation to generation. I grew up, of course, with the most famous Christmas songs being sung by people like Bing Crosby and Nat King Cole and Frank Sinatra. And then in my adulthood, I love renditions by Michael Bublé and Harry Connick Jr. Who would have known that George Michael and Wham would, in the 80s, record a song that my kids would love and would know, and Mariah Carey would be timeless in one of her Christmas recordings. Of course, my kids now love Justin Bieber. Maybe his Christmas song will last for decades. Who knows? But music is a powerful way that we tell the story in our own voice and our own style over and over and over again, generation to generation. You know, perhaps the oldest Christmas song comes from the Gospel of Luke, when the angel appears to tell Mary that she is pregnant and she's going to give birth to God's chosen child to deliver her people. Instead of fainting or shutting down or running away, it says that Mary responds in song, and her song is known as the Magnificat, which is the Latin word that means glorify. The first words that she says in response is, "My soul glorifies the Lord." This is also known as the Canticle or Song of Mary, the Canticle of Mary, the Magnificat. Hear the Gospel of Luke as Luke tells the story, chapter 1, verses 46 to 55. "And Mary said, 'My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior. For he has looked with favor on the lowliness of his servant. Surely from now on all generations will call me blessed. For the Mighty One has done great things for me, and holy is his name. His mercy is for those who fear him from generation to generation. He has shown strength with his arm. He has scattered the proud in the thoughts of their hearts. He has brought down the powerful from their thrones and lifted up the lowly. He has filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich away empty. He has helped his servant Israel in remembrance of his mercy, according to the promise he has made to our ancestors, to Abraham and to his descendants forever. I encourage you to check out that text on your own. I always wonder, what was the tune that she would have sung to? I don't think it's a joyous tune. If you think of most ancient Hebrew melodies, they're sung in a minor key. I think of a chant or a melody, almost like, O come, Emmanuel. I think some ancient sort of lilting thing where she's praising God, but she goes on to tell the story of her theology. If you look at the Magnificat, what it is a unified summary of Hebrew theology from throughout the Hebrew Bible or the Old Testament. Now, scholars have argued, are these Luke's words? Are they Mary's words? Or are they actually words that were written by the early Christian church and attributed to Mary? And whatever conclusion you come to, the Song of Mary summarizes not some new thought, but it summarizes the God that is described in the Torah and in the prophets and in the writings. And she is remembering this is how God operates. Did you know that when women are given a major role in the Old Testament, they often sing? Women aren't usually named by first name in the Old Testament, but when they are, and when they have a large role, often they pray. And that prayer, it says, is a song or a canticle. Now, there are three very primary sung songs or prayers by women in the Old Testament: Deborah, Hannah, and Miriam. Deborah's is not a catchy set of lyrics, and it talks about God destroying the enemy and Jael taking a tent spike and putting it through the head of the enemy. It's not a real hit, let's say. But if you look at Hannah's song in 1 Samuel chapter 2, it sounds a whole lot like Mary's song. Hear these words. Hannah prayed and said, "My heart exalts in the Lord," kind of like Magnificat. "My strength is exalted in my God. My mouth derides my enemies because I rejoice in my victory. There is no holy one like the Lord. No one besides you. There is no rock like our God. Talk no more very proudly. Let not arrogance come from your mouth, for the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. The bows of the mighty are broken, but the feeble gird on strength. Those who were full have hired themselves out for bread, but those who were hungry are fat with spoil. The barren has borne 7, but she who has many children is forlorn. The Lord kills and brings to life. He brings down to Sheol and raises up. The Lord makes poor and makes rich. He brings low. He also exalts. He raises up the poor from the dust. He lifts the needy from the ash heap to make them sit with princes and inherit a seat of honor. It sounds so much like the Magnificat, and yet the Magnificat is its own song. It is Mary's song. She's remembering in her own lowliness, meaning Mary had no status. She was a teenager, an unknown woman who was about to have a child without first being married. But she says, I praise God, like Hannah. I magnify. I lift up the name of God, because God lifts up those who have no power on their own. And God humbles the proud. She is remembering the writings of the prophets and the psalmists. Did you know that the Magnificat references over a dozen Old Testament scriptures? It summarizes how she knows that God works. And God does not need human wealth or success or power to do what God is doing. And instead, God usually chooses those who could not do it without God, so that God's glory will grow, and so that the humble, the poor, the hurting are lifted up. That's how God works. And Mary knows it, perhaps because she learned the Song of Hannah. Perhaps she learned chants and hymns going to synagogues and the temple and growing up, singing prayers at the dinner table or hearing things recited. It was the music, the songs of her people that told her who God was. She carried her theology in her heart because it was embedded in song. And so her offering to us reminds us who God is in song. You know, I think one of the problems is that maybe you're like me, but I don't always pay attention to the words. I remember song lyrics when I need to sing them, but I often forget the story unless I am singing them. Did you know that musical memories are stored in a different part of the brain than other types of memories? Other memories, people's names, things we learn throughout life, experiences, they're complicated files, if you will, that are stored in multiple places in the brain. And to recall them, it requires different places of the brain to cooperate to produce someone's name or a memory of something. And of course, short-term memory and long-term memory are stored differently, just like in a computer, RAM and ROM. But musical memories last longer and can be accessed differently because they are stored at a singular place in the auditory cortex of the brain. I've read many beautiful stories and actually seen videos of people with dementia and other cognitive challenges who don't remember their family members' names, but if you sing a song of their childhood, they can light up and remember the lyrics. I actually learned the German language thanks to a professor who taught us grammar through song. She published her own curriculum through song. And when I was a 19, 20-year-old college student, I thought it was hokey. But today, I know all of my reflexive verbs and my dative prepositions because of the songs embedded in my head when I can't remember other things and other vocabulary. The songs that we sing tell us something that we need to know later. Our theology, the silent night, it helps us be transported to an experience that we did not have, but it helps us to remember how God works. And so I ask myself, and I encourage you to think about this. What song do you need to remember at this point in your life? What ancient truth exists in your auditory cortex that you need to recall and lean on? For me, I think it is one of my favorite Advent carols, which is actually the oldest song in the United Methodist hymnal. It's Veni Emmanuel, come, O come, Emmanuel. Did you know that hymn is over 1,200 years old? It finds its origin as an antiphon sung in Latin in ancient monastic communities dating back. And these would be sung in monastic communities with different O antiphons. O Virgo Virginium, or O Veni Emmanuel, O Magnificat. These O canticles or songs or antiphons would be sung over and over to get the monks ready to celebrate the Mass of Christmas. And today, this ancient tune carries, I think, a song that we need to remember. Think about these lyrics. O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel that mourns in lonely exile here until the Son of God appear. Listen to what that's saying to us. O come, God, and be with us. Emmanuel is God with us. And release those who have been captured and oppressed through poverty, through injustice, through war. Free those who are struggling, those who mourn for their displacement, those who grieve their anxiety, their depression, their loss, their illness, their challenge, until God's Son, Jesus, appears. That's a song that we sing year in and year out, and it gives us the message that as we pray for the people of Ukraine, it becomes our prayer for them. God, with us, be with these people who are experiencing power outages, who are experiencing war, who are experiencing death. Be with them, those who mourn. Help us, O God, to receive your comfort until they are delivered. Oh God, those who struggle with homelessness and food insecurity, those who have lost loved ones, those who have lost their jobs, come and be with us. We know that you are God, Emmanuel. Comfort your people. It is the prayer we need. It is the prayer I need to remember that God has never left us, and God has never left the people who suffer or struggle, or even in my own difficulties, that God is with us and God is coming. And remember this chorus, rejoice. Rejoice, Emmanuel, God with us has come to thee. God with us has already come and is coming. This is a story we need to remember. Now let me ask you this. What are the songs that we need to sing for others? What is the song that we remember the story that is true? We remember that God has never left us and God is with us. But we also need to sing songs. I always love people who walk around and get me in the mood by their cheer. We need to proclaim the gospel by singing a song as well. I think what comes to my mind is the most published Christmas song in Northern America. Do you know what it is? Joy to the World. Joy to the World was written in 1719 by English pastor and hymn writer Isaac Watts, and later was set to a tune by Lowell Mason. But it is sung year after year, and it is the tune that we need to be singing despite the darkness of the midwinter year, despite the challenges that people face and the isolation we have experienced. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing. In the midst of depression, let our actions be the way that we sing the songs of faith. Let us reach out to people who are hurting. Let us feed those who are hungry. Let us clothe those who are naked. Let us buy presents for those who may have less. Let us be an ear and a presence. Let us not only need to hear songs, but sing songs. And as we sing them, we help these timeless stories of Christmas become real. For God has come with us. God is coming. And God is in you. Dear friend, I want you to think about, what song do you need to remember? What truth do you need to remember that we forget in our own self-focused lives and in our own need to control things? What do you need to remember? And what do you need to sing to others? What is one action that you can take between now and Christmas Eve to proclaim God's joy, God's promise, God's hope, and God's light in an otherwise cold and dreary time? God, Emmanuel, is with us. I am grateful that you have chosen to worship with us. I pray that you will come back and join us again. I hope to see you in person or virtually this Christmas season. Let us continue to sing songs that proclaim to the world, in our words, in our melodies, and in our actions. Let us be the church in a hurting world.